Before you spend $10, $20, or even $30,000 on getting new kitchen cabinets, you've got to watch this video. That's because today we're going to cover 9 of the worst kitchen cabinets that you should definitely avoid at all costs. My name's Carrie. I'm a self-taught designer as well as founder of the blog Penny Modern, and we're going to be redoing our kitchen this year. So I have been gathering all of the latest and greatest data on terms of kitchen cabinet trends, as well as what works and doesn't work in my own past projects, as well as my friends and my clients. So you're going to be able to get the inside scoop that a lot of kitchen salespeople aren't going to tell you. Plus, if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you 3 of the hottest kitchen cabinet styles and inserts that you should be using in your cabinetry if you're going to be redoing your kitchen anytime soon. But first, let's get into it with one of the most controversial points that I'm going to be making in this entire video. So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you definitely are in the know, and especially if you've been watching my videos, that two-tone kitchens are definitely all the rage right now. Even tri-tone, meaning 3 different color cabinetry kitchens, are gaining in popularity. But some people are putting a very light colored paint on their lower cabinets. And that is going to be something you're definitely going to want to think twice about. The issue with having light colored paint on your lower cabinets is something that I have done myself. We had an all-white kitchen in our previous home, and you definitely have all different kinds of issues with that. One of them is that dust shows, especially if you have the shaker panels. All that dust shows on the bottom rail, and then also you get tons of scuff marks. Also, if you have kids like I do, or maybe pets, you get little handprints on your cabinetry and smudges from their grubby little hands. So having these lighter colors on your lower cabinets is really just a maintenance nightmare. So if you are going to opt for that two-tone, 2-color kitchen, then you're definitely going to want to put your lighter color on your upper cabinetry. And that's going to be much better in terms of preventing scuff marks and making them just stay nicer for longer and having less cleaning to do. All right, we have another very controversial one next, and that is, where do you put your pull-out trash can cabinet? So a lot of people, when they redo their kitchen, they definitely want to get a pull-out trash can in terms of their cabinetry. I definitely want that. But where should you put it? A lot of people do put it next to the sink because it makes sense. Maybe you wash something and then you're chopping something next to the sink, and then you just want to throw away whatever you don't use. But the issue is this: if you have a pull-out cabinet right next to your sink in your dishwasher, it really blocks a lot of workflow. So if somebody is at the sink doing dishes, or somebody is putting away dishes in the dishwasher, then where is the person that needs to throw something away? Where are they going to go? If the cabinet was right here for the trash or under the sink, then I can't get to that trash cabinet. So it really just creates kind of a flow issue in terms of your work triangle. So my recommendation is definitely, if you are going to get those pull-out trash can cabinets, which I did have one in my previous home and we absolutely loved it, but put it in a different place that's not going to disrupt your work triangle. So when we redo ours, I think I'm going to put it over near my refrigerator, which honestly makes a lot of sense because a lot of times you're throwing bad food away from your fridge right by your trash can. So having your trash can next to your fridge actually isn't that bad of an idea. Let me know in the comments though, where do you think it is best to put a pull-out trash can in your kitchen? And if you are thinking about getting new kitchen cabinetry because you're going to update your kitchen and you don't want to make a major mistake that could cost you many thousands of dollars, because a lot of cabinets are $20,000 and up, then I've got a great resource for you, and it is my guide that is 100 money-saving hacks on how to save thousands of dollars on your kitchen remodel. And you can get access to that right away. It's in my Penny Modern shop, and I'm going to link to that down below in the description, as well as there's going to be a QR code pop up right here. You can scan that with your phone if you're watching on TV, and it will have a whole entire chapter dedicated to kitchen cabinetry and how all the different ways that you can save on your kitchen cabinets. Plus, it has tons of other money-saving hacks on how to save on your countertops, your appliances, and everything you need in your kitchen. So get your copy now, go to that link, and let's get back to the video. The next cabinet type that you're going to want to avoid is going to be these base cabinets that are just the standard base cabinets that have either a fixed shelf or no shelf at all in them. And I know this one can be tough because The base cabinets that don't have any drawers in them or any kind of bells and whistles, those are the cheapest ones, right? And so when you're thinking about your kitchen cabinet, you have to buy so many cabinets, and it's really tempting just to buy the basic ones. I can tell you that it is very difficult in terms of being able to reach things in the back. You definitely have to get kind of bins to organize your things. I have stuff shoved back in here. This is very embarrassing. I have things shoved back in there that I can't even get a hold of because they're just way too far in the back. That is one of the main reasons that a lot of designers are telling people not to put too many of these just very basic base cabinets in, and they're recommending something else instead. And I'm going to get to that at the very end, so stick around for that. The biggest problem of these base cabinets without any drawers in them is that you don't have a good use of space, and all that space in the back goes unused, and you don't get that extra storage capacity. A lot of times I am just like getting things in the front here. You should see on this side, this is a complete mess. It's really hard to keep it organized, and it's really hard to access everything all the way in the back. This next cabinet style to avoid is a very modern, sleek looking cabinet. And it is those lift up upper wall cabinets where the door actually lifts up vertically versus a horizontal opening door that we have in a traditional style. And these are very sleek, very modern, very European looking cabinets. I'm sure you've seen them in more modern or luxury homes. And that door goes up. And right, you might not think that's the big deal. You might think it's more convenient. But one of the issues with those doors is actually that when you lift it up, it gets higher up. And so if you're short or you have a partner that's short, it's actually hard to reach it to close it. And then the other issue is if you leave it open for any amount of time, if you have a partner who maybe is tall, they could be at risk for bumping their head or something like that. So it could pose a safety risk if maybe somebody short opens the door, leaves it open, and then somebody tall comes by and bumps their head on it. The next type of kitchen cabinet that you definitely want to avoid is going to be anything that has glazing or a shadowing effect on it. Having some kind of a glazing or a darker, clear coat on your cabinets, especially like a wood cabinet, was definitely all the rage maybe 20 or more years ago for quite a long time. And this kitchen actually had some glazing on it. And so I have an experience with it because I painted these cabinets, but previously, and I'll show you guys a picture, they did have this kind of reddish glaze on them. And I'm going to share with you some of my experience with that glaze, what happened over time, over 20 years or so. It actually started coming off. You could actually see the glaze came off, and it showed the wood underneath. And then the rest of the wood was dark. So it wasn't very durable, which is definitely not good. And then the other thing is really around, it just makes your kitchen look very dated, and it looks like it's from 20 years ago. So I would just say stay away from any kind of a glaze or any kind of a shadowing that you're going to put on top of your wood, and just use your normal typical stain. The next type of kitchen cabinet to avoid is definitely going to be anything that's got those high gloss finishes. So you definitely have seen these, especially in a very modern or minimalist kitchen. We have seen those high gloss kitchen cabinets. And here is the issue with those. I'm sure a lot of you know this by now, but just in case you don't, it is because that high gloss finish is very shiny, right? So anytime you get a smudge or maybe a fingerprint on it, or maybe even water spots, it really shows and it disrupts that beautiful gloss finish. So you're constantly having to wipe them down and clean them to get rid of all those little dirt spots. It is not forgiving at all. And so what most people are recommending is more of a satin finish, an eggshell finish, and just maybe not having something that's super high gloss. And that is going to be a better bet unless you want to have a cleaning nightmare. The next type of kitchen cabinet that you're definitely going to want to avoid is going to be around the door style. I'm sure that's something that you've really been wrestling with, because I have too, because we're planning our kitchen remodel, is what type of door style should I get? So this is what came with our house when we bought it. And these have a raised panel and they do have an arch. And I think anything that's very ornate like this, I would personally avoid, because I feel like it definitely does date your kitchen. That's definitely not on trend right now. So anything that's just very fussy, ornate, and has a lot of different movement in it and stuff like that, definitely avoid that. And the other issue is it can be difficult to clean. Dust can get in there, dirt can get in there, things like that, especially down on your lowers. A lot of people are definitely doing the shaker style still. That's still very popular. Some people are doing a slim shaker style, also very popular, or just a flat front, so a slab front door. This next thing to avoid is definitely around your sink base cabinet. And that is going to be what your sink base cabinet is made out of. So these sink base cabinets are made out of actually particle board. And that is definitely not ideal. And you should definitely try to get a plywood cabinet for your base cabinet. And here's why. You can see here that over the years, and these are probably, I think these are original to the home, they've gotten some water damage because the dishwasher is next door. And you can just see there is a lot of things going on. It's literally falling apart. My cabinets are falling apart. I cannot do a new countertop. I can't do any refacing because these cabinets are literally falling apart, not only here, but in a couple other places. And so I just don't think they would withstand much work or construction on them. What happened is the old owners, they kept all the base cabinets and the uppers, and they just put new doors on them probably like 10 or 20 years ago. But all the insides are still original. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, they chose just a particle board for the sink. So that is definitely a no-no. Go for the plywood for your sink base cabinet. It's going to cost a little bit more, but it's definitely going to be worth it because you might get some leaks. You might get the dishwasher leak or the backing up or whatever, and it's going to make it much better in terms of maintaining the strength and integrity over time. This next cabinet to avoid is around your corner cabinets. And so we have 2 corner cabinets in our kitchen, and I know this is a hot topic with people trying to remodel their kitchen. What do you do about that corner cabinet? And I will tell you what to avoid. There is a lot of different solutions, and we'll go over that later, but the thing that I have, this is basically a dead corner cabinet, and so it just has a fixed shelf in it. And I really tried to do the best I can. This is real life, people. I know it ain't pretty. I did put a kind of a lazy Susan in to try to help me. I have a bunch of stuff just thrown back there. It's really hard to get to. And that's the problem with these kind of fixed and stationary cabinets that don't have any pullouts is you have this dead corner that is really hard to access. Like I put stuff that I barely ever use, like muffin tins. And you have to get on your hands and knees like I am here to access anything. I did have these little divider things that I got from my Caraway set, and I try to do the best I can. I need this storage though because our kitchen isn't really the biggest thing in the world. I did try to use the back of the door and things like that. But a lot of people recommend if you do have this style of cabinet to just pretend like that mess isn't there and just use this part. But we will go over some of those solutions in our next section. So now we're going to get to that section where we're going to show you the 3 most genius cabinet trends and ideas that you should definitely consider installing in your new kitchen. But first, if you haven't yet, please check out that ebook I was telling you in that guide, which is 100 money-saving hacks to help you save thousands on your kitchen remodel, because you want to make sure you can fit everything you want into your dream kitchen. So that ebook is going to show you how to do that, how to negotiate with vendors, how to find better deals. So get your copy today. That link is down in the description. Go there right now, and you can check that out in my Shopify store. So my first must-have in terms of kitchen cabinets, if you are updating your space, is going to be those all-drawer lower cabinets. So instead of having the traditional doors that open and you just have to shove all your stuff back there, you definitely want to consider getting banks of drawers. They're going to be more expensive for sure, but they're going to be so much more functional because you will be able to access everything just by pulling out that drawer. You'll be able to see everything in there. You're going to be able to store more stuff. You're not going to have a nightmare. You're not going to have to get on your hands and knees like I do. And it's just going to make your life so much easier. Must-have cabinet trend or style number 2 is definitely going to be around those pull-out blind corner cabinets. So instead of having a dead cabinet where you just have to shove stuff back there, getting something that's a blind corner pull-out. They make them from a shelf, and they're sometimes called a magic corner. And it's basically a very useful tray that you can get that will pull out, and you can get all your stuff in the back and pull it back in. At a very minimum, what you can do too is ignore that corner, especially if you have it on a peninsula like this. If you have it on a peninsula or an island, maybe you just get some pull-out shelves here. And then on the other side, you can have a door to access things on the other side of that corner. The cool thing about those magic corners or the RevoShelf corner units, you actually can install them in your current cabinetry. So if you don't have enough to actually buy new cabinets, you can get some of these inserts that are gonna make better use of your space. So I will link to a couple of those down below. Must-have cabinet number 3 is gonna be an appliance garage. So this is something that I definitely will be building into our dream kitchen. And we want somewhere to store all our different appliances like the microwave, coffee maker, blender, everything like that. And what we will most likely do is build some kind of a coffee bar that has doors that close so we can hide it all out of sight. It's going to have electrical back there. I have used in the past a pantry cabinet that has a pull-out shelf with your appliance on there. And again, you have to put electrical in the back. But that is going to be something that you're going to keep all your unsightly appliances hidden out of sight when you're not using them. Because let's face it, you only use your coffee in the morning, right? And then the rest of the day, it's sitting there staring at you. So you might as well put it behind some doors. So I would definitely say getting an appliance garage, at least also maybe it's not big enough for your coffee maker. Maybe it's only big enough for a blender and maybe your smoothie maker or whatever. And getting some kind of appliance garage that's going to be a cabinet that sits on top of your countertop that has some kind of doors on it, whether it's a pull down door or maybe it's doors that just open. Getting that appliance garage is going to be a definite must-have for your beautiful new kitchen. And if you are really stumped on how you're going to fit everything you want into your kitchen, how you're going to get all the items in your wish list into your kitchen budget, then you've got to check out that ebook, which is 100 money-saving hacks to save you thousands on your kitchen remodel. I'm going to link to that down in my description as well as in the pinned comment. And then if you want more kitchen ideas and inspiration to help inspire your kitchen remodel, then you've got to watch this next video right here, and I'll see you in that next video.